Hello, judges. My name is Zachariah Haynes, and our project is the McKinley Technology and Rainwater Garden. Our mission for the project is create a space to store excessive rainwater that plagues the campus of McKinley Tech. The garden provides storage for the rainwater that comes in contact with the campus and gives the campus more scenery. Our ideal plan was to build a model of the school, our garden, and demonstrate how the water would flow through the school to reach the garden. Due to recent events, that will not take place. Instead, we will explain how the rainwater garden would have worked, the research put into it, the time it takes to make this project happen, and answer any questions you have about how it works, as well as more. Let us start off with the user research. The research done to complete this project took much time and diligence. Some aspects that needed to be researched included how rainwater runoff is both a negative and a positive, water treatment, and how rainwater has other uses. Our research went far beyond the water and the garden, and about the use it has for the students and how they would impact the garden on the campus. As for solutions, there were no existing solutions on how to control the rainwater that came within contact of the McKinley campus. Since there were no existing solutions, we did not have anything to base our project off of. The obvious solution for the problem was to just let the rainwater sit and dry, and there was nothing to be done about it. Every solution that could come with this problem is very costly and could be a problem. With our solution, we focused heavily on how to make this happen with a budget and enough to be effective as well as cheap. Existing solutions which would indulge which would include things that we as a group would think of in choosing between which one is the most optimal to complete. Our solution to the problem would be the first one, but the most effective. The one thing we need to complete was how much rain gets onto the campus. On average, about 4 to 5 inches of rain when it rains a day. With this information, we had to come up with a way that rain would reach the garden and the garden only. Regarding demographics, when we decided who should use the garden, the obvious choice was the school. We then realized that if our garden was successful, other facilities would be able to use it. The first idea would be that all DC public schools use this to help with the same problem they have. For this to be done, though, it would cost a lot, and a big part of our project is to find how we can be the most cost effective. We actually did do a survey. We were asked to ask a series of questions and make all of the results anonymous. Though feedback was small, a majority of the students said they would be willing to partake in lending a hand and taking care of the garden once finished. Everyone said the garden would greatly benefit the school community and add to the bleak scenery and open space around the school. The purpose of the survey was to see if the garden would actually be a beneficial tool for the school. We wanted to calculate to see if one, an end result would be likely, and two, how long this end result would be used until it is abandoned. Though it is not completely possible to say that it will be abandoned, we wanted to see an estimate of how long it would take until the garden was forgotten about or eventually taken away. As for our prototypes, while in school we were able to start our prototype. It was supposed to consist of a model of the school, a foundation to put the school on, and a clear box to show how the flow of the rain would get to the garden. Sadly, we were unable to get any pictures of what we had accomplished before leaving the building. As for our prototype inspiration, our inspiration for the prototype came from our meeting with our mentor, Miss Trin, and her model. The class visit we took up there gave us insight on how to complete our own prototype and answer any questions we had about that would work and exactly what we would be dealing with regarding this rainwater garden. As for our explanation, once the model of the school was complete and the garden placement was figured out, this is how the project would work. It is a simple process. The first thing we would do is pour enough water onto the model to act as rain. There would be a filtering piece of glass to protect from a large amount of water getting on the model and ruining it. The water would then reach to the bottom of the model and into the pipes we would have assembled into filtering into the garden. The model would show the process of getting the water into the garden and the storage of the water, if there would be an overflow. The actual display would be large enough to fit a model of the school, an accurate representation of the garden, and any extras we would need to make the model an accurate representation of the school. So in conclusion, the conclusion that we came up with would be how to get the rainwater directed to the garden without having to deal with water in unnecessary places. Our initial conclusion was to have a sort of water storage tank. This way we'll be able to have water for the times it does not rain and if a day is missing to take care of the garden. As for acknowledgements, we do have people we would like to thank. First off, we would like to thank Mr. Stemple for guiding us through this process and being such an amazing teacher. Secondly, we would like to thank Mr. Leslie for giving us talks through the project and helping with providing any assistance. And lastly, we would like to thank our Mr. and Ms. Trent for helping us answer any questions we had regarding how to get this done and with giving us an inspiration for our design.